let's just sew whatever. Hello everybody, today I'm going to be cutting out the Bomb.com beauty bag from yours truly. This pattern was made a very long time ago, and I don't think I've done an updated video in a millennia. So I'm going to use my templates from that template shop. I think these were actually from, they are from that template shop, but yes. So I've made a little list of what pieces need to be vinyl and what pieces need to be my lining fabric. I am using waterproof cotton. So this is a thicker, softer waterproof canvas type style. And then I'm using accessory weight vinyl from my website, which is going to make this super domestic friendly, and minimal interfacing will be used. So my exterior main panel, I'm going to cut that out of my waterproof cotton. My lining piece, you could cut this out of a solid waterproof canvas or water resistant canvas, but I'm going to use the waterproof cotton. My bottom panel, my side accent panel, and my flap piece are all going to be vinyl, as well as any other pieces on the handy dandy additional cut list. So all of my patterns have a printed cut list that you print out with your pattern pieces, and I've made sure that that template shop also prints those. I find this super helpful to just go through and like cross off as I'm going, so I can stay focused, up to date, organized. Organized was the word I was looking for. So looking at my additional cut list, I'm seeing I need to cut my vinyl handle. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This is a raw edged handle. If you have a preferred method of adding a handle that would not be raw edged, you are welcome to cut that. But I think we're just going to fold this over. You could also fold into the center, which I think I might try just so it's a nice finished edge. So go ahead and mark out the center line, and then we're going to add some double-sided tape when we go to sew it. We also have the main slip pocket binding piece, which is 10 inches by 2 inches, but I could cut that 10 inches by 1 inch and use this vinyl for it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think that'll look really nice. So because this is a non-fraying material, I can cut it half the size instead of folding it under. So for that piece again, we'll want to measure half an inch. We'll want to measure the center, I should say. Okay, so those can be set aside. And then just make sure when you are, if you're using this to mark off, make sure that you're doing it on the smooth side. Okay, so main panel, slip pocket binding. Okay, my marker's dried out. Nailing it. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now it's up to decide what direction we want this print to go. It is a non-directional fabric. This is the Sea Glass Stained Glass Roses. It has not released yet. I don't think we have a date for it, but when I know, you'll know. Both of these pieces are cut on the fold, the exterior main panel and the lining piece, and they do have their measurements given. So this exterior main panel is a square. I don't know. I think I'm going to do them I think I'm going to go both ways with it. So the lining will be one direction and the exterior will be the other. Oh yeah. And this stuff feels so nice. It really doesn't need any interfacing. If you want to add some, you totally can. If you're using like a quilting cotton, you might want to interface just with a nice woven interfacing, but otherwise it's good to go. You're really only going to see this print on the front exterior, not on the back. So like if you're trying to conserve expensive fabric or anything, you could just use a solid on the back, because the flap is going to cover up most of that. Okay. And then if you feel like you need to decide which side looks better, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and mark out my snap placements while I'm here. There is a hack that people use instead of magnets. They use a snap hook on the front, and I think that's a pretty cool idea. So I'm going to go ahead and reinforce these with some self-adhesive Therafuse, and then I'm going to mark out those magnets again. I haven't decided if I'm making this for a swap or if I'm going to keep it. But this is the fabrics, etc. that we're using on the So Magical cruise in May. So I figured it may as well test it out. Alright, so that is my exterior main panel. I've cut 2 on the fold from the exterior fabric. I don't need woven and I don't need the non-woven interfacing because this is fairly sturdy enough on its own. And this is a square. Oh yeah, it's a square, so it didn't matter which direction it went. Hilarious. It does now that I've added the snaps. Okay. Alright, so that is it for this piece. I've also marked out my snaps, so this can just be put back into the bag. Don't have to worry about it. And now for the lining piece, we're going to cut 2 of these on the fold. The cut measurements are given for this piece on the pattern piece as well. And some templates are going to start having the rotary cutout for the corners, but I just kind of trace it and gently cut through that. And then if you wanted to, you could OD coat this. Well, no, this is waterproof canvas, so I don't need to. Doing great. So there's my 2 lining panels. And then I can use these cutouts for my zipper tabs. Those need to be 1 inch by 2 inch. I'm going to cut those a little bit wider since this is for a non-fraying material. So I'm going to do 2 inches by 1.25. There is also a lining slip pocket that is 7 inches by 10 inches. So this is 10 high. So to use this smaller ruler to cut that out, what I'm doing is measuring out as far as I can or as far as I need to, and then measuring up and meeting those lines. Go. All right, we've got both of our slip pocket lining pieces cut. Lining piece, cut 2 on the fold. Yep, that one's all set. So this is basically like the big sister to the Peekaboo Beauty Bag. That is it for the exterior fabric from the additional cut list. And now it's up to me or you if you want the flat piece lining to be your fabric or if you want that to be your vinyl. I'm gonna go with double vinyl for this. I just think that'll be really clean looking because this print is definitely busy. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started cutting out the vinyl. And then we'll just need clear vinyl and some stabilizer. So let's see. So there's 1/2. So if you do it this way, you may end up using a little bit more vinyl than you had anticipated. And I wouldn't recommend doing this with like a super thick vinyl. But I think that's going to look really nice. So that is all that I need to cut out of the flap. And then the feeling of it is really up to you if you're wanting something thicker. We do have our handle stabilizer that we need to place, but I think I'm going to use a little section of the self-adhesive for that. And then we need to cut 4 of our side piece accent panels mirrored. So we'll cut 2 in this direction and then 2 in the other direction. Or if you want to, you can cut out a 4 by 10 4 times and then cut the cutout so long as they are mirrored. Perfect. And then that cutout is 1/2 inch by 2.5. Okay, so there's one. Okay, and then we're going to go in the opposite direction. And just make sure that you're not cutting too far into the corner on those. And then if you feel like these need a little bit of interfacing, you could always add a little woven interfacing or like 809, something like that. Okay, so those are the side accent panels, and I only needed those 4 pieces, so I can put that away. And then the bottom panel, we just need to cut one of these out of vinyl. And I've got plenty right here. So then we need our stabilizer pieces. Six and a half by 1. And then we've got 4 by 10. And then we'll just center that interfacing. And this becomes the base of the bag. And then for our handle placement, whichever one is the exterior is where that's going to go. And that is 2.5 inches, no, 2 3/8 inches from the top, centered. And 1.75. There we go. So now we know where our handle is going to be placed, and that helps strengthen that area. Decaville Heavy or Peltex would be a little bit stiffer, but I don't think this will cause any issues. Okay, so there is all of that. So now we just need to cut out, oh, we'll also need to mark where our male snaps are gonna go. And those are gonna go on the lining side, not the exterior. And then again, I've just got that interfacing from Fabric Therapy. I love using up scraps to mark out where snaps are going to go. And again, this is going to go on your lining side. Yeah. I'm over here like second guessing myself. Like, is it going to go on the lining? Yes, because this comes down the front. So that's your lining, and this is the top exterior. And you want your handle on the exterior, your snaps on the lining. So we will want to take this piece with us because this is our zipper pocket placement, handle placement, snap placement, all that good stuff. And then we want to find a clear vinyl to cut out the rest of the bag. All right, so I have decided to use a clear TPU instead of just a regular clear vinyl. I definitely recommend a TPU. It feels nice. It holds up really well. It's not as like... It's a little more malleable than like PVC or regular clear vinyl. So we just need a few pieces, some 10x6 and some 10x4.5. So I'm just going to do the one 10x4.5. I also like to use a printed because it's easier to see through. 10x4.5. Perfect with it. Right, and then we have two more that are 10x6, and because my ruler is only 5 inches, what I'm going to do is line this straight cut edge up with my cutting mat and then line up that extra inch that I need underneath, and then I can just meet that up to my ruler. Perfect. Uh-oh, I'm gonna keep this one. I can't get rid of it. Guess I'll just have to cut out another. Okay, and then 1 inch. And then I've got this extra little piece here. I only needed about 10 inches for all of those pockets. I'm going to use this for any zipper tabs that I might need in addition. Since I'm not using pre-made zippers, I'm using zipper tape. And then while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and take one of my clear vinyl pieces. This is the main slip pocket, which is going to get attached to this front pocket binding. Yeah, the main panel slip pocket binding. So I'm gonna tape that on there now. Just fold that over. And since it's clear vinyl, you definitely want to make sure that you've got those lined up pretty well. And this would be a really good place to add a little woven label. Ugh, so cute. And then this is going to go on that same piece that has our magnetic snap placements. So I'm just going to show you kind of what that looks like. Obviously, I want to make sure I sew this first, but that's what that looks like. So it's a little busy, but it's cute. But yeah, I think that's it. Other than my zipper tape and some possible extra zipper tabs, we have our handle stabilizer, bottom stabilizer. We've got our flap clear zipper pocket, lining clear zipper pocket, main panel clear slip pocket, main panel slip pocket binding, which we ended up doing out of vinyl, and then my zipper tabs, which I ended up cutting just a little bit bigger. Lining and woven interfacing, my lining slip pocket, which is actually just constructed like a regular zipper pocket, but without the zipper. And then I cut my handle 10 inches by 2 inches, and then I need fold over elastic for my brush roll. I just need 6 inches total of that. I prefer using fold over elastic because it's a little bit stretchier and it's gonna kind of hold up a little bit better. But if you didn't want to use fold over elastic, you could use a regular elastic. So there is that 6 inches. And the flap piece for the lining shows you kind of how that's placed. But we're going to take a little bit of double-sided tape on the wrong side. The brush roll is totally optional. If you wanted to use this for crafting, you could even make those for pens, etc. But we're going to fold this under about 1/2 inch so that we've got a nice finished edge. You can kind of see how it matches up when it's finished. So yeah, I hope you will join me in sewing this up in the next video. Coming out next week, I guess, whenever this is released. And happy sewing. Bye. Boy, am I a liar. The slip pocket goes on the back, hidden, which makes sense because then your stuff doesn't fall out. But you could always cut out a second one. So it does not go on the piece with the snaps. It goes on the opposite side. I'm so sorry. It's been years.